Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Gul Knowledge Hub. Today we are going to discover and unearth the formula R plus A formula to answer any question in the world, and your problem of being blank and your problem that my mind goes blank when I talk. Words don't come in my mind is going to be solved forever. Have you ever thought about this question? Why your brain goes blank? Why words don't come into your mind when you are in a conversation, when you are in a meeting? Have you ever figured out this problem? Have you ever figured out the reasons behind being blank? Because the answer lies in your question. Have you ever thought about this? So today, well friends, in this video I am going to discover and give you the number one formula, R plus A formula, which will give you enough ability to answer any question, and words will be coming into your mind and you will not go blank. Because you haven't figured out, you haven't sought out the reasons why your brain goes blank. There must be some reasons, because when you are in a meeting, when you are in a public conversation, when you are in any kind of conversation, it is a two-way process. First, understand this. When you are engaged in any kind of conversation, it is a two-way process. Sometimes you ask the question, sometimes the person in front of you asks the question. So the problem lies here. Why your mind goes blank is that you can't figure out, you can't even sort out the reasons why your mind goes blank, and you even don't know how to answer it, how to use the question to answer your question. Because the basic part is hidden in the answer, in the question which is posed, which is asked from you. But often we fail to understand the question, and often we fail to use that question to answer any type of question. And then we say that our mind goes blank. Words don't come into our mind because our whole focus is on finding out the words. First, you should have to understand this R plus A formula and use this formula to answer any question which is posed or which is being asked in any question, and you will see the magic happens in your life, and your brain will start responding in a spontaneous way, because there is no dearth, there is no deficiency of words in your brain. The deficiency lies in the process, in the procedure, or in the manner how you perceive this matter. Sometimes we simply are failure or become a failure to answer any question because we don't get at the bottom of the question. We even don't know how to use the question to answer any question. So let's begin with this formula, R plus A formula, and what it stands for, and how we can utilize it in our answers, and how we can utilize it to overcome this problem. If you like this video, kindly share and subscribe this video, because this video is going to be very much important. It is going to train your brain, and even if you are in a meeting and you are considering this formula, R plus A formula, it means that you are going to have tremendous results in your conversation. So let's begin this question. Let's jump in. Let's start this video, and the video starts with the formula R plus A formula. Now the first R stands for recognition, to recognize, to identify. First of all, you have to identify what is being asked. You have to recognize what is being asked, and the most important part is to recognize which of the 5 W's is being used to ask the question. Because these 5 W's like who, when, where, why and what, these are the soul of any question. Believe me, these are the soul of any question. You have to understand first 5 W's and what they stand for in order to comprehend, in order to understand the question and then to be able to answer it. First, who stands for always, thing, person. It always represents some person. Who? Some person is referring to. When there is a question, who, in any question, it means that you are asked about some person. The question is referring to answer about some person, about some thing, about some personality. So the number 1, who stands for some person. Number 2, when. When this W, when is used in any question, you are supposed to answer the exact time. Last night, before night, last Sunday, you are supposed to answer it with your time. You have to reveal the time. You are asked about the time in the question. Number 3rd W, where. When this W comes in any question, in any conversation, it means that you have to reveal the place, any place in the world. You are asked about place. Number 4, W, why. Why? When this why is questioned in any question, it means that you are supposed to answer the reason. You have to tell the reason. You have to elaborate the reason. Why did you perform some specific activity? Are you getting my point? Let me know in the comment section. Now the final W, what? The final W is what, and what stands for activity. Activity. You are asked about some kind of activity which you performed. Now you understood what these 5 W's referring to. Who stands for person, when stands for time, where stands for place, and why stands for you are supposed to answer the reason. You are supposed to give a reason. Why did you perform some specific task, and what stands for activity. So the very first task, the very first step in answering any question and to avoid blankness in any conversation or in any meeting or interview is to recognize or identify which of these 5 W's is used. Understand? Now the second R represents restate. Now first you have understood, first you have recognized and identified which of this question is, which of the 5 W's is being used. Second thing is to use the material, the words of the question to answer your question in a most appropriate manner. So it is very simple to use and to extract the material, to extract the words used in the question to answer your answer. Restate. This means restate. You have to restate. You have to reproduce. You have to reutilize, reuse the words used in the question. And the last, A stands for answer. Now you have to restructure your answer and give answer in a confident manner. And you will see how your confidence level will travel when you will allow yourself to identify which of the 5 W's is used. Next, you are supposed to restate what the words are used in the question, and then you will see that you are answering in a confident manner and you will not hesitate in any kind of circumstances. But the condition is that you have to prepare yourself beforehand, before going into any meeting, before going into any conversation, because your brain will be trained in such a way to extract information from the question. So let's begin with the first example. First example is, when you were in college, who was your favorite teacher? Now we have to focus on the portion, on the part of question where one of the 5 W's is being used. Where we have to focus? We have to focus on the part of the question where one of the 5 W's is being used. Now we will consider this part. Who was your favorite teacher? Who? It means that we are being asked about some person. Who was your favorite teacher? Who means person. We have to answer it in the form of person. Who was your favorite teacher? Well done. We have recognized that it is referring about some person. Now the second part of the question formula comes restate. How we can restate? Now we have to reuse the information, the line which we haven't used. And what we haven't used? We haven't used this line. When you were in college. When you were in college. How we can use it? How we can restate it? You must be changed in I because I am answering the question. Tense should be the same. Now the answer would be when I was in college. When I was in college. Now we are restating, reusing the words and the material present in the answer. When I was in college. Next, we are being asked about some person. My favorite teacher was Miss Najam. My favorite teacher was Miss Najam. You can write the name of your own favorite teacher. So you understand how it is, and we will demonstrate it through some other examples where some other W's will be used. Now the second example is, what did you do during last vacation? What did you do during last vacation? Now we have to first recognize which of the 5 W's is being used, because the first word or letter R represents recognize, identify. We have to figure out. Now the first what did you do? What did you do? This is the first part where one of the 5 W's is being used. What did you do? Now this is the focus of the question. We have to focus on the part of the question where one of the 5 W's is being used. Now which of the 5 W's is being used? What? And what stands for some activity. You are supposed to answer it in the form of some activity. You have to tell them what kind of activity you performed during the last week, during the last vacation. So we recognized. Now the next part comes second R. The second R represents restate. We have to reuse the words or the content or the material present in the question. So how we can? During last vacation. Now during last vacation. During last vacation. This is the rest of the portion and we are reusing it, and this is very important. During last vacation, what did you do? Now we are supposed to answer. You will be changed into I because I am supposed to answer. During last vacation, I jumped up a mountain. I jumped up a mountain. What did I do? I jumped up a mountain. So in this way you are supposed to answer any question. Now we will understand what another W stands for and how we can understand the question and we can answer and elaborate it in a most effective way. And your problem of going blank is going to be resolved because you are training your brain to answer and to extract information from the question. So the next, if you could go anywhere, where would you go? If you would go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Now the focus of the question, the first R represents recognition or identification of which one of the 5 W's is being used? Where would you go? Where means when one of these 5 W's, where is used, you are supposed to answer in the form of some place. Where would you go? Now, well done, we have answered it. Now we are going to words second R, which means to reuse, restate and reuse the content or the material or the words present in the question. We are not going anywhere. We are using the words in the question which is being asked from you. So how? And you would be changed into I. If I could go anywhere. If I could go anywhere, I would go to Paris, and you would name any place of your own choice. So this formula, you have to train your brain and you have to exercise it through multiple questions, and you will find out that it is not that difficult, because sometimes we make our problem like a mountain, and it's not like a mountain. We have to surmount, we have to just conquer that mountain with our will, with our determination, and we have to figure out why this problem is occurring. We are not taking into considerations the reasons. We are just worrying about the problems. We are just hankering about the solutions. So just focus on the reasons, because your answers are often in the reasons. You can find out your answers, and in this way, by using R plus A formula, you can solve this problem of being blank. And when you say that words don't come into your mind, words are already present in your mind. There are variety of words, and there are sufficient words. Believe me, there are sufficient more than words in your brain. The actual need is to train your brain to answer in a proper way. You have to figure out, you have to solve your reasons. So I hope that this formula will give you enough confidence to answer and to cope with any situation present in your life. If you like the video, kindly share and subscribe the channel and hit that bell icon, because it motivates me to make more videos. So till the next video, stay happy, stay blessed.